Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have a very serious show for you guys here today that we want you guys to stick around for. So please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into this topic here. A lot of serious things to touch on here. As y'all know, this Kyrie Irving story has been evolving for the last 2 to 3 weeks now, and it's been like it's unlike anything I've ever seen, or unlike anything I've seen in a long time, in terms of a player and all of the drama surrounding one particular person, right? When Kyrie Irving initially put out that link on Amazon, I mean, it just created a firestorm, and then all of a sudden everybody started talking about it, and then right after that, people started commenting on it. You heard Charles Barkley, you heard Shaq, you heard Kenny Swift didn't really say anything. You heard Shaq, you heard Shannon Sharp. Of course, you heard LeBron James come out there and make his feelings known. Then you heard the NBA Commissioner Adam Silver actually put out those statements. And you heard Joe Tsai, the governor of the Brooklyn Nets. He went out there and put out his statements. And then Kyrie Irving subsequently was suspended for 5 games without pay. And that was suspended, for a minimum of 5 games without pay, right? And then we heard after that Kyrie Irving was scheduled, I believe, on Tuesday to have a sit down with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver to, I guess, gain a better understanding of what the hell is really going on. And that actually happened, right? And now we're actually getting the report on what actually took place. And today we want to read from a New York Times article that we have here that we want to get into right now. So let's just start off with the headline. Kyrie Irving is not anti-Semitic, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver says. Irving, the Nets guard, met with Silvers this week after promoting an anti-Semitic film on social media last month. Silver said Irving's actions were damaging. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said Thursday that he didn't believe Nets guard Kyrie Irving was anti-Semitic after meeting with him in person this week at the league's headquarters in Manhattan. Irving has been facing backlash for promoting an anti-Semitic film on Twitter last month. We had a direct and candid conversation, Silvers, who is Jewish, said in an interview with the New York Times, adding, "He's someone I've known for a decade, and I've never heard an anti-Semitic word from him or, frankly, hate directed to any group." In a follow-up phone conversation, Silvers added, "Whether or not he is anti-Semitic is not relevant to the damage caused by the posting of hateful content." Silvers declined to elaborate on his meeting with Irving, citing an agreement with him to keep the details of the conversation private. Silvers talked to the Times after he spoke at Sports Business Journal's Dealmakers Conference in Washington, his first public appearance amid the firestorm since Irving's tweeted an Amazon link film. Then it continues on. Silver suggested to the conference attendees in response to being asked about Kyrie Irving that Amazon bore some responsibility for hosting the film on its platform. "I think Amazon has to make decisions as well," Silver said. He added, "My first instinct wasn't that something to me that is so frankly vile and full of hate speech would be contained within Amazon Prime." Silvers told the audience that the social media post has done enormous damage to Irving and potentially to the team and the league. He added that he had no doubt that Irving was not, in fact, anti-Semitic. Now, if you just kind of parse his words and listen to what he said, it seems like, well, obviously you don't get to become a commissioner of a league of this magnitude if you don't really know how to measure your words. And I think he was a lawyer before, if I'm not mistaken. So you can tell that he was very measured in his comments. You can see that he chose his words very carefully. And I think he's taken a very nuanced approach to this thing because it's a very, very, very sensitive matter, right? And based on some of the decisions that the Brooklyn Nets have made, you can see that this thing now is starting to create, it's starting to create a little bit of animosity on various sides. So he has to be very careful with the words that he uses. That's the first thing. My general thoughts on this are, I think it's good that Commissioner Adam Silver sat down and spoke to Kyrie Irving and had a face-to-face conversation with him to gain a better understanding of what Kyrie Irving was thinking and the situation, instead of having information relayed to him from third-party sources. It's important that I think the two of them sit down and talk face to face and talk about these things instead of him, hearing this report or hearing this person on TV say something and then continue to form his opinion on Kyrie Irving. So I think them having a conversation and a sit down was very, very important. Now, as things currently stand, Kyrie Irving is still suspended. I'm not sure how many games he served in the suspension, maybe 3. I think he was served. He was given a minimum of 5 games without pay, in addition to the $500,000 that he has to donate. And then I think, in addition to, so he's probably going to lose about, they said somewhere around $1.5, $2 million, which is a considerable amount of money that Kyrie Irving is going to lose. So we don't know yet if this conversation is going to evolve into Kyrie Irving possibly coming back early and not serving the full 5-game suspension. We don't know that right now, right? Because I guess we have to hear from the Brooklyn Nets, or maybe some other conversations have to be had. I'm not really sure how this thing is going to play out, right? And I thought that this thing would probably start to simmer down, but with some of the comments that Jaylen Brown has been making and other people have been making, it seems like this thing may be ramping up again, and we may be going into a second phase of this particular situation here. So I don't really know how it's going to play out in terms of Kyrie Irving's fate, when he's going to come back and play, if he's going to be reinstated to the team, or if the team is still going to look to trade him. No one knows, right? I don't really know how that's going to play out as of yet as an outsider. I don't work in the NBA. I don't have any NBA connections. I don't know any teams, anybody like that. So this is just an outsider's perspective that just reads a lot about this situation and follows it closely. So that's the first thing. The question really to the audience is this: do you think that this sit down that Adam Silver's and Kyrie Irving had, do you think that it will have an effect on the Nets management? Because the fact of the matter is this: the Brooklyn Nets have been one of, they've taken a lot of strong positions on this Kyrie Irving situation, starting from the governor, Joe Tsai, down to Sean Marks and some of the subsequent decisions that they've made, right? So do you think that this conversation will kind of soften their position on Kyrie Irving? Do you think that maybe this was a preliminary step, and then maybe Adam Silver would then revisit a conversation with the Brooklyn Nets leadership group? Do you think that maybe this will create an avenue for maybe Kyrie Irving to sit down with the Brooklyn Nets, board members or whoever it is, to talk about a possible return? That's one question. Another question for the audience is this: do you think that they will still request or demand that Kyrie Irving follow through with their 6-step process that we've outlined over and over and over again? Because it seems like those 6 steps is something that it was like the straw that broke the camel's back. That's when you started seeing various players like Jaylen Brown and others come out and say, hey, wait a minute, this thing is not sitting well with some of us, right? It seems like you guys are taking this a little bit too far, right? Some of these items seem a bit much, right? So do you think that this particular news, or this particular event, this sit down that Kyrie had with Adam Silver, do you think it's going to influence the Brooklyn Nets in any way? And finally, if Kyrie Irving were to return to the team, do you think that ultimately he's going to get dealt to another team before the trade deadline? Or do you think that based on some of the success that the Brooklyn Nets are having, I think they're 3-1 in his absence, if I'm not mistaken, do you think that maybe, given the fact that the team is winning, maybe they're going to kind of try to incorporate him back into the swing of things, and then maybe just play it out and see how the season goes? Or do you think that, no, listen, these bridges are burnt and they're definitely going to find a way to trade Kyrie Irving to another team? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and we'll definitely catch you guys on the next show. Peace.